Have you been
No.
present for the defacing of any tombstones?
No.
Okay. Regarding the picture you just saw on the screen of Donovan Thomas's or the tombstone that said Donovan Thomas, do you personally know who did that?
No.
Okay. Do you know if it was one of your friends that did that?
I think I would know if they did that, but I don't know them doing that.
Do you know if it was another rapper who did that?
No, I never heard nobody. I never found out or heard nobody say they knew who did something like that.
Do you know if it was a fan who did that?
Viral news source.